Hey, you, right there. Don't move. Have you ever wanted to build better? Well, boy, do I have a video for you. Last time, I did 5 building tips to become a building god. Well, we're gonna take it a step further. Here's 5 more building tips to rule the world. Trust me, my tips work because I rule the world now. You just don't know it yet. Anyways, I gotta go figure out which part I rule. Is it this way or that way? I don't know. This way! No, it's definitely not that way! Do you want to be able to build something that will end up covering something like this farm right here? Like, look, I have this whole chest system in here, and I have a whole moss farm right here. But I think it's huge. I don't like the look of it out in the open. So what do? I put a building around it. Sure, I'm not done yet, but this is just a class to teach you all how to build similar to this. Eventually, your builds will turn out something like this if you keep at it and keep practicing. So, let's get straight into the tips. Let's do this. Tip number 1. The main thing we want to look at is theme. When we're looking at a world, we want to come up with a theme before we get started. However, this is not completely necessary. You can always start a world without any idea of what you want to do and come up with it later as you look around at the terrain. However, this area here is a city. If you were to look right here, you'd probably say, oh, that's a city theme, right? Yeah. And you'd probably be correct. However, the moment you start turning around and seeing all this other stuff like the Doge, Star Wars helmet right here, these ducks, all of this, suddenly things become much more chaotic and you can't tell what the theme is. Feel free to go ahead and put as many themes as you want into a singular area. It helps you see all the different creative paths a world can take. For example, here you can see the mesh between the sea and the land, with the city, the castle, and all the sea creatures. Then over there we have our pixel art. We brought some pixel art over here too. Got a bunch of stuff in the sky, and over there. So, if y'all want to have as many themes as you want in a world, another thing you can do is just do as I did and go to another area in your world and start building a different theme there. Sometimes it's nice to take a break from whatever theme you're working on and work on a different theme, because sometimes working on a theme for too long can lead to burnout. So if you work on multiple themes at the same time or as you go, you'll still feel pretty hyped to keep building something new. You'll come up with new ideas and be like, oh, I gotta go to that area to build this. And then after that, I'm going to come back to this area and build something else I have an idea for. Tip number 2. When it comes to building things like walls, when you look at this, doesn't look kind of boring to you. That is because it's too flat. If I'm looking at the side of these walls, all I see is this. While that can look cool in certain situations, I don't think this is the way you want to build all of your walls. Try going ahead and adding a little bit of depth. By adding in some depth, you could just do something like, And look, we've already added a little bit of depth there. We can go ahead and grab ourselves some, let's say some spruce fences. Throw these up here. Grab ourselves some spruce fence gates. Throw them in between here. Throw it down like this. Suddenly we have a much more detailed wall. We can keep taking these steps further by adding in some more detailing, like using some trapdoors. Trapdoors always come in handy when it comes to, oops, oh no. Trapdoors always come in handy when it comes to adding in some depth. Of course, you don't need to use trapdoors. You can even get rid of these. And if you don't want to use trapdoors, sometimes all you need are some simple walls. Look at this. By getting rid of some of these blocks here and replacing them with walls, we now have a wall with a bunch of shadows as well as some extra detailing. Now tell me, which wall do you like better? I always go with the one with more depth. However, again, like I said, situation can depend on whether or not you want a blank wall or a more detailed wall. However, if you use too many details in your depth, it can start to look a little weird. So make sure to find a balance between what's the good and bad amount of detailing. Tip number 3. And tip number 4. The next 2 tips go hand in hand. See this? See how it's kind of boring and how we improved it to look something like this? We can take it one step further and let's go ahead and go back behind here. It's bland, but we can go ahead and look at block variations. I already picked out a bunch here. So when you're thinking about your build, think about what kind of colors you want to bring in. For example, I was thinking that since this is a stone wall, we just want it to be a bunch of grays. So I picked out a bunch of gray blocks here. Sometimes we want to go in things that are known as gradients, which is from light to dark. So in this example here, these 2 are probably the darkest. So these 2 are right. This right here seems like a brighter color. So we're going to put that up here. We're going to move this here, and let's try it here. I was wrong. And a site goes here with this here. There we go. Now that's a creeper. Oh man. But anyways, yeah, this is kind of a gradient. But if we want to be more realistic, we can go with overhangs and stuff. Let me just go ahead and copy and paste this over there. Copy and paste my butt. I got to do this all myself. Gosh. Okay. Now that we've copied and pasted it, yeah, right. We're gonna go ahead and start applying some of these blocks. So as we see, the cobblestone is one of the darker blocks. So we can bring it in like this. And we can even use this variations like this. So that way it's near the bottom. Oops, wrong thing. We can also bring in some coal here and let's say some polished andesite around here. So depending on the realism that you want to go for, it's gonna change a lot of the way it looks. The way I'm looking at this, the sun is getting blocked by this area here and a bunch of this area up here. So this area down here would actually end up being kind of lighter. So we can just go ahead and... We don't have any substitute for this, do we? Let's just go with andesite. Why not? That's not andesite. This is. We could bring in some more polished andesite here. This wall looks so much better than this wall. And it's even a step up from this. So 2 tips right there and then. Boom, look at that. Tip number 5. Final tip, we'll return back to my bedrock world real quick because this is where all my builds are right now. But the most important step is to have fun. Like, if you can't have fun while building your builds, maybe you're not building the right thing, because the most important thing is to have fun. Be creative. Minecraft is all about being creative, having fun, enjoying time, you know? It's supposed to be relaxing. So don't think too hard about things and just build what you want to build. Also, don't try to look at other people's build and be like, oh, man, I'll never be that good. You build your own kind of things. You have your own kind of ways to build things, and that's all that matters as well. Everyone has their own kind of processes, and enjoy that. Everyone's different. Everyone likes to do things different. So you don't even have to listen to what I said in this video. If any of this helped you out, request some more things down in the comments below. Ask me about things. What kind of things do you want to see in the next episode if I do one? Do you have any things you want to know about? I'm just flying around the world to show off stuff, you know, like castle, you know, Japanese temple, dinosaur. I had a ton of fun while building this. I really enjoy building. I really do. And building is my favorite thing in this game, and I would never put it down for anything else. I love to build, as you can tell. I've built hundreds of builds. I've tested several hundreds of block variations and whatever. Let me know down in the comments below if I said anything wrong and you want to correct it. Or if you have any other tips, leave them down in the comments below. Maybe I'll even put them in the next video. Thank you for watching. And of course, have a good one. Hey, different outro today.